I think we call today's episode... Phone's ringing. Hang on. Hello, mate. Good to see you. It's the chairman. No, I've not spoken to the Spanish football authorities. Obviously, I had that team meeting with Andre and Martel and Joseph and things like that, and we knew we had to do something about the current predicament because obviously the Spanish FA aren't very happy with us. But we couldn't really think of anything because, to be honest, we're not paid to do this. But it's above our pay grade. This is your thing to sort out. Right. What? No, what? I can't. No. Right, well, thank you for coming along to this emergency meeting once again, boys. I mean, it's great to have you come over here all the way from Salford. Martel, great to have you here once again. Obviously, big news. Well, just at the end of last episode, the chairman rung me, and obviously this little feud with the Spanish Football Association they don't like us being in Spain, they found a way to get us out. They've said, if we don't get promoted this season, then we're going to be expelled from the Spanish football leagues. I can see the shock on all your faces. I can see the shock. You all look absolutely flabbergasted by that. Particularly you, Joseph. You look really upset. But I know, it's terrible. It's terrible, all right? But we have either got to get promoted or, well, we die trying. Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 3. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's episode where the Spanish football authorities, they've given us an ultimatum. The ultimatum, get promoted or get expelled from the footballing system. So, I mean, that is hanging over our heads right now. That is a huge weight, and I'll be honest, I don't think we've got enough to get promoted. So we're going to have to come up with something to try and at least delay what they're trying to plan. I don't know what to do. So welcome back. Since last episode, when you were last here for the transfer special, we've gone a bit further into the future and I've played the first 2 league games of the season, which actually went really well, but more on that in a moment's time. This season, I think what we need to look at is first and foremost, we need to see, are we going to get promoted? And the answer to that is probably no. If we look at the division and we look at the season preview, we are favourites to come 9th this season, which I'll be honest with you, that's not promotion. The only thing that is sort of hanging in our favour there, though, is that we are 13-1 odds to get promoted, and that is very narrow. What this does show is that Espanyol maybe just, are the best team there, but from Racing Santander down to, I'd say, Murcia, anyone could really actually get that second place promotion maybe. It looks very, very tight, really tight. So I'm expecting an interesting season again, basically. Now, we have had to make a few little changes to the squad since you were last here. If we look at the squad right now, you'll see it does actually look pretty big still. But if we look at the player registration, I thought it was EU players who are the age of 19 or younger. It's 18 or younger. So I made a big mistake thinking that loads of our players were eligible to play for us. Turns out they're not. What that has meant is that a few players have had to move back to the B team to play in the B team this season. Scipio and Jez Finley, they will be registered into the first team shortly. We are just waiting on 2 players to leave the club. Jose Angel Carmona, he's going to leave the club very soon. Either transfer or loan, there's bids for both, so he'll be gone very, very soon. The young, he is a young centre-back, just not very good in particular. And the other player leaving, hopefully, if we can find him, is Alfredo Pedreza, another relatively young centre-back who's not particularly good. So once they're both gone, we'll get Scipio and Jez Finley back registered into the squad. If we have a quick look at the B team, you'll see at the top of it, Jezovic II, Matthew Hewitt, Liam Duxbury, Javier, they've all had to move back down. I've tried to get them out on loan to other clubs. No one wants them, basically. No one's put any bids in for loans, so they'll probably just stay in the B team this season. But I can hear you all asking, Tom, you're trying to get rid of 2 centre-backs to make 2 extra spaces in the squad. Does that mean you've brought in 2 centre-backs? The answer, yes, I have done. I have. Now, last season, towards the end of the transfer window, we saw that Pablo Gonzalez was available. We got him on loan. He was very, very good, and he wasn't available on loan to us at the start of the transfer window. So I kind of thought maybe towards the end of the transfer window, we're in the final week of it right now, a transfer window, I thought maybe some good centre-backs who haven't got on loan yet might become available to us. And that is exactly what has happened. We've brought two very good young centre-backs in, one from Espanyol, one from Sporting Gijón. The first one of these two is Ernest Cahinde. He's from Espanyol. He's 19 years old, a 4-star centre-back, capped at Spanish under-19 level. And as you can see, his attributes are actually pretty amazing. His physicals are very good, his mentals are very good, and 17 passing makes him a perfect ball-playing defender. Supposedly is more of a CDM, but we are playing him at centre-back this season. That's his loan agreement as well, so looking forward to seeing how he performs. The other centre-back we've brought in is this guy from Real Sporting Gijón. He is Alex Lepetra. Again, looks very, very good. His passing, not quite so good. Positioning, though, is pretty decent. I mean, he basically is not quite as good as Ernest, but he still is decent. He's more of a wing-back than a centre-back, supposedly, but again, we're playing him at centre-back this season. He should be decent. So as you can see, they were pretty late on into the transfer window, into mid-August, those transfers. So we had to wait a little while for them, but I'm actually very happy now that we've got some solid defenders in the squad. And so far, they have done an incredible job because as it stands right now, we've played 2 games, scored 8 goals, conceded 0. It's been fantastic. With that being said, if we look at Rema Honda and Malil, I can't pronounce their name properly. Either way, these 2 teams are relegation fodder this season, as are apparently Pontevedra and Villavenice. So we should be recording some big victories against these 2 sides today. But as you can see, Raul Jr. has already got 5 goals in the league. 1 against Rema Honda, 4 against Melil, whatever they're called, 4 against them, which is fantastic. So he's off to a great start this season. Before we do get into today's first game, though, I need to say a massive thank you to the newest Patreons on the channel. Paul Johnson and Gavin Legg, thank you ever so much for your contributions. Massively appreciate that, and it all goes to help support the channel and grow it for the future, so you love to see it. Of course, if you want to get involved in the Patreon, link down in the description below. We also need to rename some regens as well from the most recent regen intake or youth intake, and also ones from a bit further back that have looked actually quite good and haven't been claimed yet. So first things first, our left winger this season, Frank Pitt, or Perret. I don't have to worry about how to pronounce his surname ever again now, because thank you ever so much to Timo, who is taking him. So Frank, you're no longer called Frank, you're now called Timo Wolf. You love to see it if I can spell Wolf right. There we go. Young wing-back Jed Nightingale, no longer going to be called Jed Nightingale. He's now got one of potentially the best names in the entire squad. If we go to set his nickname, say hello to Harry Gadalucci, which is a fantastic name. So Harry, we're looking forward to seeing how you kick on this season in the B team. You are one of the people that sort of make the cut down to the B team because we had a few wing backs already. But next season, I'm expecting you to make the big step up. And we have a young Argentinian attacking midfielder who is now going to be called Diego in honour of Diego Maradona. Jamie, that was a very, very nice thing to do, I feel. So welcome to the club, Diego. If he can be half the player that Diego Maradona was, then we've got a real player on our hands there. So, all of the news, all of the updates are out of the way. Let's go and get into today's first fixture, where we're not going to change the team from how it was in the first 2 fixtures this season. They played really well, scored 8 goals, 0 goals conceded. Let's keep it as it is. So, of course, including the goalkeeper and that back line, there are 3 new faces now. Dikene, obviously, in goal. Javi Vasquez, the only player to retain his position from last season. But Lepetra, Cahinde and Trilli are the new players in that backline. Done very, very well so far. Our anchorman is Shitty Joe, and just in front of him is Cipollina and Tomic. We've got Timo Wolf playing on the left-hand side, Raul Jr. up front, and of course Raul Zubalaga on the right wing, who's played very well so far as well. So let's get this game underway. We are at home as well, which is a big advantage to us as well. And basically what I've noticed so far this season is that obviously, defensively, we are a lot stronger. I think one of the biggest issues we had last season, yes, we were scoring lots of goals, but we were conceding an awful lot of goals as well. And on the occasion, it did cost us quite dearly. So this season, it's all about trying to reduce the amount of goals that are scored against us whilst maintaining the maximum points, basically, that we're getting from games. So as long as we win games 1-0, I'm happy. It does make me a bit more nervous when we do go 1-0 up in games and think, okay, just keep it at 1-0 because all I want to do is pick up the 3 points. I don't care about winning 4-5, 6-0 like we did last season. Although it wasn't 4-5, 6-0 last season. It was like 4-3, 5-4, 6-5 when we won last season. But as you can see, like defensively, we've conceded 1 shot in this first half so far, whilst having 10 of our own. And yes, apparently none of these shots have been very good because we've seen no highlights at all. But it does go to show that defensively, we were a lot better. Do need to go and thrash my arms at half-time, though. Far from pleased from what I have just seen, with Tomic looking a bit demotivated by that, which isn't great. He picked up 3 assists in the opening game of the season in that 3-0 win, so Tomic has had a fantastic start to life this season. If he can just get 3 assists in the second half now, that would be absolutely fantastic. I think with already 30 minutes to go in today's game, not much happening at all, we're going to make some changes. Timo Wolff apparently slightly injured, so we'll take him off for Daz Finley, who's the other left winger we promoted from the B team over the course of summer. Kike will also come on for Raul Jr. And given that Raul Zubalaga not playing particularly well, Juan Diaz, on you come. Let's change the entire front three. Let's go a bit more attacking. Let's shout at them, demand more, and hopefully we'll score a goal or two. The first game of the season when we won 3-0, we were 0-0 at half-time. We scored all our goals in the second half. And I think we scored 1 or 2 goals in the first half of the second game of the season. We won 5-0. Most of the action was in the second half there. So we are a second half team as it stands right now, as Kike proved that we are a second half team, picking up his second of the season. Great ball into the middle from Javi Vazquez as well. He's really enjoying having a wing partner this season. I think the reason our wing backs weren't so good last season is because they were on their own on the wings. We played very narrow. They were the only width we had, and they had a big issue, I think, getting forward, trying to do something, trying to get back as well. So I think having 2 players on either side of the wings this season is a lot better. As you can see, though, 20 shots we've had today's game. We really should have scored more than 1 goal. But as I say, as long as we just win games at least 1-0, that's the main thing. Picking up the 3 points is the only thing that I am fussed about this season. As we've got a free kick, which Shitty Joe will take from the edge of the area. The captain steps up, and the captain puts it in the back of the net. You love to see it. Andre's second goal of the season already. Amazing. What a boy, what a man. I love him to pieces. Andre Shitty. Hopefully he comes up with a secret way to stop the Spanish FA from getting rid of us. Either way, 2-0 win. A great win there, boys. Fantastic stuff. Another clean sheet as well. I don't think we saw a single highlight against us that game either. So we are loving life this season. Timo Wolff injured for 5 to 10 days, which isn't great. Obviously, will miss the next game in 3 days' time. But this team is just gelling so well so quickly. As you can see as well, with those 3 wins, we are top of the table. The only team to keep a 100% winning record. A few teams obviously not losing games yet, but we are still looking in a great position. Do bear in mind though, the 3 games we've played so far are against 3 teams who are tipped for relegation this season. The next team we are playing against, Villa Venice, also tipped for relegation this season. So it's not like we've had a challenging start or anything like that. Pedreza is about to leave the club to Regen on a free transfer pretty much. He's worth £11,000. I tried to get money for him. No clubs would bid any money for him. So I thought it would be better to just get him off the wage bill. He's gone, not registered at the club anymore, and we can get one of Daz Finley or Scipio registered up instead whilst we wait for the other player to leave as well. So I'll do that right now actually. Registration, let's just get Scipio, because he's top of the list, into the club right now. Excellent stuff. You can play this season. And very quickly, this second game has come around there. Right, again, I don't really want to change much of that starting lineup because we are playing so well. But a few players looking a little tired out there. So Timo Wolff will come off for Daz Finley to play on the left-hand side. Tomic will come off for Scott Marshall. And we will give a debut to Nico, who's going to come on for Trilly instead on that right-back position. Right, so kick-off upon us once again today. You love to see it. This time away from home, so it could be a little trickier, but I'm still expecting us to pick up the 3 points today. Again, though, don't expect anything this first half. Despite this highlight going on right now, we are very much a second-half team that we could concede 2 or 3 goals in this first half. We'll score 4 or 5 in the second half. I can guarantee if that does happen, because we just are a second half team. As Chipley in the forward to Raul Jr. gets it out to the other Raul on the wing. You can put a cross into the middle. Does to Raul Jr. Saved, unfortunately, though. I tell you one thing that did happen whilst you weren't here that I forgot to mention completely. Randy Schneider, he was sold. Getafe sold him, and we got 50% of the profit. Or not profit, just 50% of the sale in general, because that was what the clause was for. The issue is they sold him for £60,000, so we only got £30,000. We didn't get much money at all. So that one, yes, we have got a bit of money that we wouldn't have had otherwise, but I was expecting Getafe to hold on to Randy Schneider until they sold him for like £10 million and we get 5 of it. So that I feel a bit let down by that. I did actually put a bid in for Randy Schneider when I saw that he was going for £60,000. I thought, well, if we can afford him, let's try and get him back to the club, but he just didn't want to join us. But as I say, we're a second half team, nothing happening in that first half, so I'm going to thrash my arms around again, far from pleased, and let's go and score 6 goals now, please. Michael Cipollina in the middle, plays it back to Andre Shitija as we look to try and build forward. Can Daz Finley get it into Rowley? Can it into Javi Vazquez, who does try to shoot, but it is blocked for a corner. Are we going to see anything from this corner as Javi Vazquez pumps it into the middle to absolutely no one, but goes straight back to him, to Scott Marshall, who, just puts it over the bar. Come on then, lads. Let's get a goal in this second half. We've had 12 shots. Our XG is up to 1.32. We should have had a goal by now with the chances that we have created. Let's go a bit more attacking again. Let's shout demands more. And we might bring Kike on again if Raul cannot get a ball in the back of the net. As Zubalaga coming forward down the wing. Can he get across into the middle? He can. Raul Jr. is there. Turns it into the back of the net for his 6th goal of the season. What did I say? We're a second half team. Highlight straight from the kickoff though, which does make me a little bit concerned as they look to come forward out from the back. Can we get a challenge in there? No, we can't. The ball forward is very, very good though. We nearly conceded our first goal of the season. We got very lucky there. Scott Marshall on the ball is not tackled, keeps hold of possession into Nico, who can swing one in, into Raul Zubalaga, into Raul Jr. And the two Rauls combining once again. We're a second half team, aren't we? Right, 20 minutes or so to go. Let's make some changes. Yaya coming on for Shitty Gel. Raul Zubalaga coming off for Juan Diaz. And let's bring Brito on for Vazquez. Going to be quite a tight battle this season, I think, between Javi Vazquez and Ethan Brito. Both very similar players, but I think I favour Javi Vazquez a little more because his crossing and dribbling is a little bit better. But right now, it doesn't seem to matter too much. Another 2-0 win. Let's not concede now, boys. Let's not concede now as Daz Finley, good interception. Forward to no one, though. Can we get the ball back? Cipollina does get it back. Let's make it 3-0, boys, as Juan Diaz comes down the wing into the area, shoots, saved by the keeper, not getting his first goal for the club just yet. But it doesn't matter. As I say, we've won another game 2-0, another clean sheet this season. We are looking unstoppable. But I keep saying that. Remember, Tom, the 4 teams we played this season are favourites for relegation pretty much. So let's not get too excited. If we get to the next episode and we are still undefeated and we are still not conceding any goals, then we might be able to get excited. I think next episode we might do a triple header with Numancia, Alcoyano and Espanyol B, because I believe all 3 of those teams are definitely favourites for the top 5 this season according to the pre-season preview. So that might be an interesting way to compare and contrast how we've performed in today's episode. I think the teams we play against in between episodes, Racing Santander, they're right up there as well. I think Villarreal B are, but most of these teams are better than the team that we've played so far, at least. So I think come the end of next episode, we might be able to be a bit more confident in saying where we might finish this season. So thank you ever so much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have done, drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.